Happy Friday. It is being Guillen, and we are on split locations, not because I'm on vacation, unfortunately. What's up, guys? How's it going?
We're here.
What's going on? We're getting good use out of my dad's office room. So what's going on? What's that on your finger?
So today we had to split the show. So I wasn't feeling good for 2 days, and I took a rapid COVID test, which very lucky that in the United States we have them, and I tested positive. And as soon as I did that, I quarantined, expecting my next test results in 24 hours from my doctor to know if I have it 100% or not. So this is like an oxygen tracker. So it tracks oxygen, which cannot go under 95 for a while, and then my heartbeat, which I have a pretty good heartbeat. So
You have a heart?
I dodged COVID for a while, and I think it finally caught up with one. I'm the part that I'm disappointed in is that I got COVID and I did not travel anywhere. You guys went to Vegas, Miami, and you guys have still not been caught by COVID yet.
Well, I don't. You know what? I think it's just luck of the draw. Even if you do everything to be, to have prevention, the washing your hands, the wearing a mask. So I think it's just luck of the draw. Hopefully, speedy recovery, and then you'll be fine.
But it's funny because Ozzy do all the stuff. He covers his face and he's washing his hands, and I stay with the kids inside. Don't go anywhere. And in another side, we like as I say, we went to Vegas. We do this. We at the airport, nothing happening. I don't know. Be honest with you. I know he's there. I know it's happening. I know. But confused, man.
I know this is gonna sound weird, but you have an amazing picture behind you.
Who's that?
He has Ronaldo.
Yeah, Ronaldo's
I got Ronaldo in play. So I'm not.
What I got here? I got
your background is actually better than mine, but I want to jump into right away. Obviously, it's the first, second being game from the New Year's. Obviously, we had the New Year's show, but so much has happened since then. A lot of stuff that, sadly, right before we came on the show, someone that I hold dear into my heart as a baseball fan. Only got a chance to meet him a couple times in my life, but one of my favorite managers of all time, the great motivator, Tommy Lasorda, has passed away. And Tommy lived a great life. Got to see his Dodgers win. Goes away with 2 World Series, 4 pennants, 2-time Manager of the Year, 1997 Hall of Fame inductee, and a guy who probably won the World Series with the team that had the least amount of talent. And in the era of analytics, where we only care about the numbers and when are we going to take a pitcher out and numbers is all that matters, Tommy Lasorda, to many, a manager that maybe wasn't the best as the X's and O's, but a guy that got the most out of his players as the great motivator, has passed away. And I'm getting chills because I was a big fan of Tommy Lasorda because Tommy was always Tommy.
Well, you talk about baseball. Tony Lasorda's name's got to come up right away. When you talk about guys, really, I don't think people never thought he was a great manager, but it makes you believe how good as a player you can be. And that was, I remember him in not Dodger Stadium, in Dodger Town back in
Vero Beach.
Taking blue. Everything is about the Dodgers. All his life it was around baseball. All his life was about the Dodgers. It's amazing. When you talk about him, like kind of talking like Magic Johnson talking about the Lakers. I think I know he lived a great life. He did everything for baseball in a good spot. And when you're 90, you no matter how old you, how you die, how you pass away, you're always feeling. And I think baseball right now, feeling it, the loss of him. I know he was sick. Then all the song, I look in the media, say he got better. He went back home, and that's a bad news happened.
We thought that 2020 was over, but 2021 has already started off hot. Everything that happened in Washington, Tommy passes away. Me personally, I've always been a big fan of the Dodger mystique. I was never bought a Yankees hat. I've never bought any of the other than the teams that my dad played for. I always loved the Dodgers because I grew up reading, Jackie Robinson and all that stuff. And then when the Sox got to share a complex with the Dodgers, you really got to see what, the Dodger blue was all about. And Tommy Lasorda is on the Mount Rushmore for the Dodgers. He's not really known for being, like you said, a great manager, X's and O's, but he's more of a motivator. and those videos of him in 1988, and then you hear how Oral Hershiser and Kirk Gibson express themselves about Tommy. I think that's the biggest compliment that you can pay a manager, is that, you know, they're still friends to this day and they still had a relationship. And the fact that he won with those teams in 88, and then he won another World Series. The team before that was better, but in 88, they went up against a juggernaut, which was now Sox manager Tony La Russa, and Tommy won. He got those guys to believe, and the fact that he's gone, I'm sure that from now till the season starts and even all throughout the year, they will pay homage to Tommy and everything he did great for the game of baseball, because he was really, really a baseball lifer. And I'm sure he gave us great teams, and he also gave us, Mike Piazza. We all know the story that's the reason that he got drafted, because he was godfather, to Mike.
So when you look at Tommy's career, always a Dodger, which I respect a lot. Actually, he pitched 3 years in the big leagues for very little, wasn't very successful. Then he coached for them. I have a funny Tommy Lasorda story, and Ozzie Sr. always used to say, how many times am I going to meet Tommy? He was a guy that at his older age, he was just kind of just hi also. He was always kind of just out there and just, a funny guy. He had me when I was a White Sox intern. The Dodgers came into town, and Tommy Lasorda had me give him a tour, okay? Of the stadium,
wow.
of Guaranteed Rate. And it was probably one of the funniest encounters I've ever had, because Tommy was asking me questions of like, who built this? And I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea. And why do you want to know? And he took a picture with me. I'm actually looking for it because I want to share it. But it was a guy that, in his age, he's such an older figure. He's a strong guy in general in the game of baseball, that, his passing is going to be something that hopefully his name is never forgotten. But a sad day for the game of baseball for a guy that won the World Series in 1981, 1988. And by the way, something no one really knows about Tommy, most consecutive Rookie of the Years for a manager, even passing Tony La Russa. He had the run with Todd Hollingsworth, Hideo Nomo, Raul Mondesi, Mike Piazza,
Steve Sachs.
It's just he had so many great players come through the 90s as well, because he was a manager for a long time, a guy that transcends almost 3 decades as a manager, and then manages Team USA. So the passing of the great Tommy Lasorda would be something that we'll revisit. But again, a sad day for the world of baseball.
Let me say something funny. This being Guillen show. I remember when the World Series, and they put extra seats next to where I was. It was Tom Lasorda was there, all baseball people was there, the commissioner and stuff, and Osney was a
bad boy.
It was a bad boy. Then Tommy can see the game, and I can hear very clearly Tommy go, hey, sir, move. Can you please move to the right? I can see the game. I can watch the game. And Osney's like, what, 6'5", 6, and go, excuse me, can you move? Osney turn around and say, get a better seat. I was like, oh my God. I turned around and told us all that, and the commissioner of the game was laughing about it, because a kid is a bad boy. He don't know who he was. He thought he was a normal fan. I think that's one of the funniest things I hear. Tell one of the legends. He's a legend on baseball, and rest in peace.
I think that we care more about Tommy Lasorda now in the new age of baseball more than we would have if the game would have stayed the same. But let's look at something a little bit more positive, and we'll come back to revisit the Tommy Lasorda passing, hopefully later on in the show. But let's get into some hot stove. Oni Guillén actually here a couple weeks ago made this prediction. Not the Cookie Carrasco move, but again, they added another incentive in the trade. But Francisco Lindor, Mr. Smiley, is actually been traded to the New York Mets, and the Mets having the offseason of their lives, probably one of the biggest trades in the last couple of years. Lindor and Cookie Carrasco land in New York. Mr. Met cannot be more excited. And Oni Guillén, you were right. Francisco Lindor now is a New York Met.
Yeah, I mean, I remember doing a show, I don't know, it was 3 or 4 weeks ago, and one of the topics was, where do you think he's going to land? And I said, I think the Mets trade for him, and then I think they'll re-sign him, because I don't know, throughout the history of the Mets, they have we have a video, Sean. I think we might have a video of me saying that Lindor is going to land with the Mets.
By the way, $24 million they have by Cano. They give it to him.
We have that video. If we can, I think the Indians are going to trade him because they know he's not going to resign. And I think there he is with his bike. I don't know why I see him ended up with somebody like the New York Mets.
Wow. In the Christmas show.
That was breaking news as far as I'm concerned.
By the way, I don't like breaking news. I like fact. That's what's a fact.
I'm gonna play the lottery after I get out of here. I never played the lottery. I'm gonna buy the Powerball numbers because you never know. You
don't have to play. This is a funny part. You don't have to play the lottery. All you got to do is do sports wagering.
I'm not good at that. I don't.
But this is the type of thing that you're good. You would have taken. So here's something funny. If you would have taken the Mets, okay, prior to December, for this trade, your odds for the Mets winning the World Series were not strong. After that trade, those odds have changed, and now the casinos in Las Vegas and around the country are concerned because the Mets are now favorite.
So basically, Steve Cohen comes in as an owner and comes in with a bang. Obviously, he has one of the most exciting Twitter accounts I've ever seen. He's an owner. He tweets, which is fantastic. He says the trade wasn't that important. Let's bring back the Mets black jerseys that he loves. I think it's great that an owner is tweeting. He is feeling what the fans are out there for. The Mets are exciting. It's New York. They're going to be back on the map with that pitching staff. You get a guy like Francisco Lindor in his prime to come play for your team, and Cookie Carrasco, who's been through a lot himself, is no slouch. The New York Mets should be a player in the NL East. I still think the Atlanta Braves are better because, A, they've been together longer. They're a better team. But if the Mets come out and sign Bauer or Springer, that basically shows you that they are for real. They're going to try. And that's all you can ask from an ownership is try, which is all you can do is try. You don't know if they're going to be good or if they're – but at least they're trying. It's a shame that Cleveland had to get rid of guys and they can't sign guys. They let go of Carlos Santana. They let go of Lindor. They got a good package back. A lot of people are saying in the game that the package that the Indians got back is a lot better than what the Cubs got back for the Yu Darvish.
Absolutely. I completely agree with that because Indians have, and I'm going to stop you right there.
Ahmed Rosario, I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, but the thing, obviously, they got a better package because when you trade Darvish, you don't know how much longer they're going to pitch. That's why they're like, hey, wait a minute. This guy's been pitching for a long time. Then Lindor is a baby. And Lindor is going to bring something besides what he do on the field. I think he's going to make those guys play the right way. I think Lindor should say, you know what, I just got here, but we have to stop playing baseball.
And Francisco's coming from, WBC competitive. The Cleveland Indians have been very competitive in the Central, so he's coming to New York.
I have a question for you, Oni. Sorry to interrupt regarding this. Okay, so my question is the Cleveland Indians, okay? They have to give up again on a big name player. It's been year after year that they have not been able to sign their big franchise guy, okay? Why do you think that the Indians are a team that cannot hold on to a franchise guy, number one? Is it the right move, or is this a new move of saying we can survive and compete without having to lock ourselves into a major guy, for example, a Detroit Tigers with Miguel Cabrera? Are you think that the Indians are actually not someone that we should feel, and I keep saying Indians, I'm sorry, Cleveland is their team name now.
It'll take you get used to.
Yeah, used to. So Cleveland, do you think, are they ahead of the curve on something of we don't need to sign a guy for 10 years in order for us to compete, and we can do it without doing that?
Well, I think that now teams are looking at, a Tampa Bay Rays, for example. And remember, the Cleveland was in the World Series not too long ago, and they lost to the Cubs in the World Series. So their window was open for a while, and they did try with this core, and they were I believe they were the better team against the Cubs, but the Cubs beat them. So their window was open for a while. Now it's shut. They can't re-sign anybody. Not saying they can't. They're not going to re-sign any long-term superstar because they feel like they can't compete with the big market teams, and they are in Cleveland, whether that be TV deals, ownership, whatever the case may be. But now baseball's taking a turn is that you do not have to sign long-term big money in order to compete. The Tampa Bay Rays were just in the World Series versus the Dodgers. Yes, they lost, but if you can go to your owner and say, hey, I think I can get you a good team and we don't have to spend, $140 million, $150 million, every owner is going to say yes. That's what the White Sox are hoping for because they've increased their payrolls. That's what other teams, especially during a pandemic, they can't go crazy spending. It is very unfortunate that these guys are hitting the free agent market during a pandemic. I don't think it'll affect some guy like Steve Cohen. And eventually, owners are going to call Steve Cohen and say, hey, tone it down, buddy. I know we know you have more money than than everybody. But if you start signing 2, 3, 4, 5 guys,
why are you going to say, okay, guys?
No, because the owners are the collective bargaining agreement is coming up. This is a big thing. You know, they don't want things to get out of hand. Every team is going to cry poor, and all the guys know it's lying. And we have Antonio Campos asking, where do I think Chris Bryant gets traded and where? I believe Chris Bryant will get traded in the summer of next season. So before the trade deadline, I think Chris Bryant goes to a team as a rental, and then he signs somewhere else in the offseason.
Wait, so what season is that? 2022, you're saying, or 2021?
No, this one.
Oh, so 2021, yeah. So yeah,
this one he gets traded during the trade deadline to a team that's competing, which
to the Mets,
maybe to the Mets, a team that needs a big bat. He plays out the season, probably goes to the playoffs, and then he re-signs with somebody else.
It's a question too. You know, I kind of wonder. You know, we talk about Lindor. It was a big trade, but the big boys, the big names, or the guys with the biggest success last couple of years past, they don't sign yet. Nobody have a contract yet, and you know, something like wow, you know, I mean, well, 4 or 5, the Springer, Bauer.
Real
Muto, they even
because teams don't know, like Ozzy's always saying, you know, it's a 60-game season. How much money do we give them? How do we value these guys? Are these guys going to be good? Are these guys going to be bad? It is very, very dangerous. I know the Toronto Blue Jays are a team that a lot of people have their eyes on. They have the closer for the Oakland Athletics between the White Sox and the Toronto, Liam Hendricks. These are guys that are waiting, but I feel like in January we're going to have a very, very, very hot stove burning because their teams are going to sign, and I think you'll see guys taking 1-year deals and then hoping for the CNBA to come out and then go from there.
Because I don't think anybody going to go see her. Here is $200 million, 20-year contract. I don't think that's going to happen anymore because the way baseball goes now and all this stuff happening.
Realistically, man, we need fans in the game because fans bring revenue. And fans bring eyeballs. Owners need fans. Do I feel like there's going to be an MLB season? Absolutely. But if you want things to go back to normal, you need those fans and you need them quick because the longer this goes, owners are going to keep crying poor. And it seems like the Indians, they're not going to do anything.
Well, by the way, I hear a few people say it's not going to be fans in the stadium. I think it's going to be very tough to open the season. And in what the day they're supposed to be open, and I hear from big top guys like I mean, it's going to be hard for us to go out. Talking about owners and general managers, it's going to be hard for us to go out there without fans. Fans is very important. Now they find out how important the fans are.
Hard and tough, hard and possible are two different things. We got Jose Big Z Suazo saying that Mark Cuban and Steve Cohen are the one and the same for Major League Baseball. Everybody keep sending in your questions. We will keep answering them here throughout the show on La Vida Baseball being Guillen. So guys, real quick, before we get into our next topic, we have a doing it for the gram with the Guillen. I want to know why Ozzy Guillen was so emotional in this video before we get into our next topic. So roll it out and let's see why Ozzy Sr. was so emotional here on doing it for the gram on being Guillen.
Así es. Sí, mi amor, linda, de nada, amor. Vamos a sacar una foto con el abuelo.
So that was Adela's revealing of her Christmas present from Grandpa, Abuela, and Abuelo in her gift. And I think Ozzy was emotional because he was just so happy to see Adela open her gift of her playroom in the house. So thank you so much. An amazing Christmas gift. And not very often do you see, I don't think you cried when you won the World Series, but you cried when Adela just opened up and also their Christmas present.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. That's my family. They're my soul, my everything. I just saw Adela's face when that happened and the reaction she'd have, and it gave me the opportunity to feel the way I was feeling. World Series, I can pay I get paid to win World Series. I was paying. Manager getting paid to win.
That's a T-shirt right there. That might be the first T-shirt we say. You get paid to win the World Series. That's your job.
Yeah, you know what? It just honestly, it's all about family. And this pandemic, I tell people all the time, it really didn't change anything for us because
I don't think so.
We've always been close, and the fact that there's grandkids now and there's other little people. It's just we're lucky enough to be able to spend time with family.
I just tweeted something yesterday. I think it was in English and Spanish. I don't know if people understand what I said in English. I said one of the biggest time in my life. I'm 56 years old. When my when Adela called me, I love you, Grandpa. Obviously, she said in Spanish, and I swear to God, I almost died. I got shocked. Then this morning, I only walking into the house, and she go, "Hi, Tio, love you, Tio." That's mean a lot to my family. Then baseball secondary, life secondary, and being Guillen is a lot to me.
Yeah.
And I hate to watch baseball. I hate to watch baseball games. I swear to God, I watch baseball game when I get paid. But now I'm watching the Colombia League. It's 5-6 hours.
Well, you're very hard to watch a game when Osley's managing. That is for sure. And family is first. Nick Sayas is definitely right about that. And you guys have done a great job. I've only been in quarantine for maybe a day and some change, but you and Oni have definitely, and my mom have stepped up to, and Carla, to take care of the kids and have them over there at your house. So thank you very much. Sarah and I are very happy that you guys are able to do that. We're very fortunate. But the last topic is someone that, when I grew up in the clubhouse, the clubhouse was my second home. Okay. And to some people that sounds very weird. But the clubhouse was my second home, meaning everything that happened in the clubhouse, I was raised by somebody that in the game of baseball, I always like to say like the mafia, the Cosa Nostra, there was rules about things that happen in the game that to me, a lot of things have changed since I was a kid. I grew up in the time where my dad would say, no gambling on baseball. Anything you hear in the clubhouse stays in the clubhouse. And those were, you respect, being in here. And it was something that, I don't gamble in baseball. I didn't do it for a long, long time because it was wrong in my eyes, so wrong compared to other things. And talking about what happens in the game, to me, even doing a show like this, sometimes you have to talk about things that are super sensitive, and I feel awkward because I grew up with not being able and knowing to my core that it is wrong to talk about things that happen in the clubhouse, but this is the world that we live in. And the story has just broken yesterday with somebody that all three of us know. Ozzy knows him very well. I didn't even know his real name, to be honest with you, because I've always called him Bubba. But the story breaks out, okay, and two worlds are colliding of something that was known to the world of baseball, and now it's exposed to everyone outside of the clubhouse, and everyone is making such a big deal because someone was let go, and they found the worst excuse to fire someone, okay? They should have said, man, we're going to let you go because you've been here for 30 years and we don't like you anymore. We're going a different route. But they try to say, they tarnish his name by saying that he was fired because he was creating this form of pine tar that players could use and that was famous around the league. So the article breaks out, they fired, the first name that he throws out, okay, is Garrett Cole and Justin Verlander. And this is not Canseco, I saw it. There's text messages, okay? Okay, the guy breaks it down in the article. Bubba basically says how Troy Percival showed him how to do it. And Bubba's been in the clubhouse forever. And, I don't want people to think Bubba's a snitch or Bubba's a bad person. They just put Bubba in a situation where Bubba needs to get paid and he can't find a job. And that's the reality of the game. You got a guy like Manny Colon, the Marlins let him go. He's still out as a free agent looking for a position. But it happens that sometimes these guys, when they're let go in the game of baseball, they have to resort back to things that effectively hurt the game because now the fans are no longer naive or innocent to things like this. I want to take you guys' take on this because the list of players that are on there, I think I counted 5 Cy Youngs, okay? And that's just the one that just got released right now on guys that were he was giving them the substance.
Let me jump real quick in this. First of all, why didn't hire Baba to do it just for the California Angels? Because their pitching staff is horrible, terrible. And that's
you mean they need Bubba now?
Yeah, they need Bubba to get him better. That's
but you know what's funny about that, Ozzy? If I was a general manager, I would have said, Bubba, why are you doing this for the opposition? That would have been my issue. I said, you can only do it for our guys.
Ozzy, no. Listen, you rub the balls for both teams.
Correct.
As soon as you rub the ball, that's the umpire's job or was. Okay? When you rub the balls, now the umpires, I don't know, they get lazy or they get too, too diva. They're not did it. In my time, the umpires rub the balls. I remember Richie Garcia rubbed those balls like you can even see it.
Well, I used to rub balls, so they make the home side.
You used to rub balls for a living?
No, I'm saying I used to do when I was with the Marlins as a bad boy, the umpires said we didn't have time and we would rub it for them.
Okay, they don't have time. What do you mean they don't have time? They have all day. Second of all, let me tell the people how that thing works. Okay, when you rub the baseballs and you get ready to the game, the umpires got to look at them before they take it to the field. As soon as you rub those balls, you go out there and both, like the umpire say, okay, this is the one for the home team and this is the one for a visiting team. No, both teams using the same baseball.
But it wasn't so much about the rub that they were worried about. They were worried about the substance that was actually put into a can.
He was creating a
pine tar wrap.
A mix of rosin with the pine tar. Listen, to me personally.
Okay, wait a minute. No. Let me, because this thing made me mad because Bobby was one of the best clubber in the game.
He was. Anaheim clubhouse was awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
By the way,
the best club in the game is suing Angels and suing MLB.
Well, this sort of Alex Rodriguez sued Major League Baseball. Why Baba can do it? Okay, 1 second. Okay, second of all, everybody, a lot of people, I'm not going to say everybody, a lot of pitchers use pine tar. A lot. A good one. Why? Because they got to grip the ball. We talked about that a few shows ago. When it's cold, you can grab the ball. You cannot. I used to put pine tar in my glove, make sure when he hit the ground ball to me.
Well, so I like the Garrett Cole text because it says, hey, we're playing somewhere cold in April. Okay, can I get it before I get to Anaheim? Because I'm going to pitch somewhere cold. So it wasn't like he was trying to cheat. It's like, hey, I'm going to pitch somewhere cold. I might need an extra grip.
Obviously, I think this goes under gamesmanship. I believe for any real baseball person, this is a non-story because this is something that's been going on forever, and this is not like a cork bat. This is not like steroids. This is not like banging trash cans.
Nope.
This is literally considered like breathing. It's like putting pine tar on your bat. I mean, it's no opposing hitter has ever gotten upset because he's got pine. No, it is known.
And you put Vaseline.
Everyone does it.
You put something. This used to be the speedball.
So I think. When you're looking at it, I think that the only way to save this is Garrett Cole, Justin Verlander, pitchers from the past, current pitchers in the game come on and say, you know what, we've been doing this. Major League Baseball, erase that stupid rule. Okay, make it specific to Vaseline. Let the pine tar be there, because the part that's funny when he brings on the story is people were like, "Oh, what's a bullpen bag?" Its bullpen bag is like it's got the candy, the sunflower seeds, the water, and he would put that in the package for guys to have in the bullpen. So it wasn't like it was considered cheating. Like everybody knew about it. So I think that Major League Baseball needs to come clean and say, hey, it wasn't a big deal. Like the rule was misinterpreted, and this guy deserves, maybe have his job back, which I think it won't happen. But to move forward, I don't think Garrett Cole's a cheater when it comes to that. I think he is when you play with the Astros with the trash can banging.
Ozzy, how about this? Major League Baseball put a rule like you can go and lick your fingers on the mound.
On the rubber.
Well, before you just got to get out like 2 feet behind.
2 feet behind the rubber, and then you can lick your finger.
Rule they can ever have, because listen, between one here, one there, and they know for a fact it's a lot of Hall of Famers out there. A lot. I'm not going to say 100%. 90% of the Hall of Famers, they use something just.
Well, Phil Niekro, who just passed away, was on a David Letterman, I believe the show was, showing off his little scuffing of the ball. He had sandpaper in his pocket. He actually had gotten suspended for using sandpaper. And you know what? I think it goes back, and I hate to get political, and I hate to get. Us as fans, we have gotten so weak. Okay. Weak of acceptance, okay? And it's funny because the weaker we get, the biggest cheating scandal in baseball, okay, including PEDs, okay? I'm even including the steroid thing because we all benefited. I know Ozzy's not a big John Heyman fan, but I'm going to give credit to John Heyman. John Heyman wrote a Twitter the other day saying, we need to stop complaining about this PED things as writers because we created this monster. We ignored it. We looked the other way because we were all making money. The game was making money, and now we're making it a big deal when we vote. The biggest scandal, okay, since the White Sox threw the World Series in 1901, I think it was, the Black Sox, was the Astros trash can banging World Series, okay? And we're spending so much time on pine tar, okay, on steroids more than actual team cheating. Like Garrett Cole, like if I went to the mound, okay, and I got pine tar, or we gave pine tar to, God, give me a pitcher that has not done well in the big. Oh, Carson Fulmer. No, Carson Fulmer was on
Carson
5 big
Fulmer
league teams.
All the pine tar you want.
You can give Carson Fulmer, and I love Carson Fulmer, but bless his heart, he cannot get it together in the big leagues. If you give Carson Fulmer, I'll put it up there. He's our boy, Dallas Braden. Cool guy. I'm cool with him. Dallas is, you give him all the pine tar, he's not going to beat Garrett Cole. Okay.
My point is that I think that people that made these rules, and if anyone really is affected by this story that it came out, they don't know anything about baseball. If you play baseball at any level, high school, college, professional, little league, it is not a problem. This is a non-story, and I hope Bubba gets his $4 million.
Me too. You know what? The weakest link, how you call that? The weakest link?
Yeah, the weakest link.
When they break
the chain.
Okay, that happened to Baba. I'm not gonna say it was right or wrong, but behind this is more people involved. Umpire was involved, general manager was involved, players was involved. Okay, now all of a sudden they're gonna put Baba to get the gun to the guy, but the guy is shooting. They're not gonna do anything to him.
Well, here's the part that's interesting about the Anaheim Angels. Okay, they're the same team that had a player overdose and die on their watch. Okay, on an opiate. Everyone in the United States knows the opiate crisis that even infiltrated our professional sports game. We've had the stories of guys in the NBA, but somebody passed away while as a Major League Baseball player for opiate. Okay, there's been linked that the person that used to get him the opiates was somebody in the PR department, I believe. You guys can look up the story. The family is suing, but they have made this story about Bubba in Anaheim way bigger than that story. Like, I hope if Bubba wants $4 million, $5 million, I hope he gets whatever he's asking for because the Angels did a wrong job of firing him. They should have fired him for other reasons.
If you ask anybody that knows the game, nobody cares, and everyone knows that Bubba's a great guy. So he did what he had to do. It's part of the game. Okay. It's part of the culture. Guys, baseball is not black and white. There's a lot of gray area, just like in all our lives. Nothing is black and white. All right?
Trash can banging is.
Trash can banging, trash can banging, that's like pink.
Okay, by the way, the trash banger is still playing. The guy do the steroids in one era. Only few people is out of baseball. Only few people. It's a lot of guys. They use it. They're still in the game. Okay? A lot of guys use it still in the game. And that's why now somebody got to pay the price of something, nothing to do with them. Just going to get rid of them and say, hey, we have a problem. Okay, we got you guys doing this. Oh, that guy did it. The guy.
Well, I feel bad because it's Bubba and the pressure that Bubba, and I'm talking now as a clubhouse kid. Okay, if a player asks you something, and Bubba was the boss, and this is a different time in baseball, Bubba's not going to say no to the guy that is helping him get money. Okay.
And he's probably tipping him very well.
And he's tipping him really well. Like, this is Bubba's livelihood. So, like, you imagine Bubba saying, no, guys, I'm not going to give you the pint. They would have gone and said, we need to get this guy fired. This guy's horrible. Like, I've seen guys complain, okay? They complain about the food in the clubhouse. Okay, this clubhouse is horrible. You need to fire so-and-so. There's a horrible food. We don't have enough protein here. Okay, like that's, again, so do you imagine the pressure that Bubba was in? So, like, they're affecting somebody's livelihood. So, like, when someone like Robinson Cano gets suspended, and he loses $30 million. Robinson, in his head, made his financial decision. He was the one that did it. But like Ozzy said, how can you fire Bubba for basically providing something and then somebody else using it? So like if Bubba would have been providing syringes for guys, like you put it in your bike, oh, it was Bubba's fault. He put it there. It's just like alcohol, okay? And I'm somebody in recovery, so I can say this as much as I want. You put 2 bottles of vodka, okay, as a clubhouse guy, and a player grabs a bottle of vodka and chugs it. And then he's hitting and he falls over and his manager finds out he's drunk. Whose fault is it? The guy who put the bottle of vodka in the Gatorade freezer or the baseball player who just drank it before the game?
The baseball players, you know why?
Of course.
Because sometimes we're getting home. By the way, we used to buy vodka, in the clubhouse in Cleveland, because Cleveland, after the game, everything closed at 12. Okay?
Correct.
Nobody's open. Now, okay, listen.
Maybe that's why Cleveland can't get any free agents to sign them.
By the way, no, Cleveveland cannot get any free agents because fans stopped showing up to the stadium. But I'm going to tell you this, Ozzy. We're talking about clubhouses. Best hot dogs in a clubhouse, Cleveland Indians.
That was one. Wow.
Cleveland. The hot dogs in Cleveland.
Guys, before we sign off, you guys make sure you subscribe to the podcast and follow us on the Being Guillen page on Instagram. Literally, it's all the behind the scenes of us just hanging out and having a good time. And let's hope that, I mean, it hasn't been that bad, but let's hope January gets a little bit better and quick.
Yeah, by the way, because people thought in not the United States, everywhere around the world, 2021, everything going to change. I said 2021 is like 2020 was 7 days ago. I have a Twitter like people say, hey, we're in Australia, we're in 2021. It's still the same stuff.
By the way, you know what's funny when we wrap up on this? It's like when you look at a baseball season and everyone thinks that, oh, it's a new year. And when you look at it, it's only been 5 months and your team is just as bad as it was the previous season. But just because it's a new calendar, you think that your chances are the same. It's the same thing with the year. I weighed myself. And when I saw that I weighed myself, I said, oh, it's the same exact year. But guys, thank you so much for making this happen. I know that the last couple of days we scrambled. Thank you, Make the Heart. Thank you guys for taking care of my kids. We will be here on Being Guillen live on La Vida Baseball, sharing everything on social media. And guys, if you haven't had a chance, and everyone out there, please watch Más que un Juego, a great show in Español, and it's translated into English with the subtitles with Latinos and players talking in their native language, talking about things that we discuss here in Being Guillen, more than just a game and things that happen outside of the field. So have a great Friday. Stay safe. We will see you guys next week. Bye.
Thank you, Dr. Grant, to give me a fake teeth.
See you guys.